Good morning. It's Wednesday, May 12th, 2021, here in Idaho Falls. It's time for our market update, so we're going to look at Bonneville County today for the last week and some general overall numbers about what it's doing. So, as we all know, the market is still really hot, really insane. Values are up. The time on market's down. We're going to look at some of what we've got on the market, some data from public sources, and a few other places as I drift through the MLS. And in a couple of weeks, we'll show you these numbers in real time, as much as I'm allowed to show you, let you look at. Sometime until then, you'll just have to trust me that this information's correct because I'm pulling it straight from the MLS here and from the National Association of Realtors has its stats up here. So as of today, it's Wednesday, so I'll do these weekly. I'll tell you about that weekly information, and I'll get some WD-40 for my chair. As of today, we have 49 active residential properties on the market. That's a pretty dang good number. That's a lot to have. That includes condos and townhouses as well as manufactured properties. So all sorts of residential properties on the market right now, 49 of them. Now our days on the market still really low for that sweet spot. I'm not going to say that it's one day. On average for the week we're at about 13 days on the market. That's last Wednesday to this Wednesday, the 5th through the 12th. It's still, once you're in that sweet spot, which from the look of it, that sweet spot with the low days on market is about 400 down to 250. So, 250 up through 400,000. Your average days on market's 10 days. That's because for some reason or another, your outliers probably are sitting there. I'd say it's probably around 4 days you're sitting on the market a little bit as your better average. Sometimes an offer comes in and it's well within rights to continue marketing that property as active while a contingent offer is being accepted and has been accepted and waiting on that contingency to expire. So that can help in that sweet spot here of $250,000 to $400,000. Help that number be up to 10 average days. Our total average for last week is 13 days. So 13 days on the market is still insane. The price point with the longest days on the market right now is the 400 through 499, 999. We're seeing that they're really sticking around a little bit longer. That's over 2 weeks. I'd say we're starting to see, cross your fingers, maybe a little bit of stabilization there. We may not see many more giant increases. I imagine that there will be. I mean, we're sitting at a 1 month price change of about 4%, according to NAR here. 1 month list price change of 4%. That's a 4% increase in what our listing price is. A 12-month change of 41%. I mean, that's incredible. It's higher than the U.S.'s average of 5% and Idaho's relative average of 32.6%. So Idaho itself is well above national average, with Bonneville County here having a 41.4% 12-month list price change. It's still incredible. All right, so with our longest days on market at 17 at that price point, anything above that, there actually in the last week has not been anything above 750 sold. This is all sold data, my apologies. So 31 properties have closed. That means the actual transaction has finished. Keys are exchanged, money is funded, everything is submitted to the courthouse for filing. 31 properties in the last week. That's still pretty good. It's amazing. The lease number is the 500 through 750 category with an average days on market of about 14 days. So we're still seeing really good numbers here. I decided only to look at a week for this week and give you some higher data for those things. Oof. Now, most of those were on the market for less than 30 days, so it's about 25 days is the total. It's really good. The important part everyone wants to know, we're hearing a lot of talk in various places that all these cash buyers coming out of the woodwork and pricing people out of the market. Well, out of those 31, only, I'm going to give you a percentage. 20% were cash buyers. You can do those numbers yourself. With 62% being conventional loans, 6 FHA, VA loans in there. So we're not seeing this overwhelmingly large group of cash buyers coming out of nowhere. I really think that that is holding steady. You can pull that up and maybe check out that data for the last year and see if that corresponds. That 20% just about corresponds to the last month as well. I pulled that, I was going to talk about a month, but we're not seeing that huge influx of cash buyers the way that everyone wants to think. Well, our average sold price for the last week was $350,897. So $350 is our average sold price for this week. According to NAR, our median list price is $325. So theoretically, that means we're closing at about $25,000 over that list price. Again, that's a pretty good number. The thing about that is, of course, as we talked about last week, the value is there for that person. It may not be there for you. You may not want to pay $25,000 over that list price, but somebody does, and it's worth it for them to do that. If it's not worth it for you, don't do it. I think that's a good saying to live by. 38 new listings came on the market in those 7 days, while 31 closed. So we net gained 7 new listings in that amount of time. It's a net gain on that, right? Average days on market still 13. Median sold price at $317 means probably actually a little bit lower than what we were really thinking there for $350. But average sold price versus median sold price is always an interesting conversation, and one I'm not going to get into right now. Let's do Bonneville County's relative historic data here, courtesy of the National Association of Realtors still. So about 70% of Bonneville County residents own their properties, 30% are renting. We're talking about the month prices, the changes, 12 months. Our estimated home value for Bonneville County right now is $263,000. Now this is slightly above the national average of $256. It's below the rest of Idaho's value average at $323. I believe the reason for that is there's certain counties, certain areas with larger metropolitan stations to them, especially Boise and its surrounding areas. Metropolitan areas tend to really drive up value in a fascinating way. Doing appraisals and market valuations in the Baltimore and DC area, you see that value is probably not where you think it would be, but it is there because it's a metropolitan area versus a suburban or rural area. So that is an interesting thing. But estimated home values have increased in 12 months at 21.5%. Again, national average at 4.5%. I mean, it is worth it to live in Idaho. It's worth it mostly, from the look of it, to live in Bonneville County. Idaho's got a 23.1% estimated home value, 12 months change to it. I mean, this is amazing. Let's see here. Change in value for all buildings, change in dollar value. It's about 14%. This is for all buildings. They're not exactly helping me make any points as to whether or not that counts. commercial or anything else like that. It just says buildings, which is always very helpful. The number of building permits recently given out is 817 for new single-family buildings. Yeah, as we know, we are seeing this should be higher than average increase in construction costs and how much you're going to end up paying for your new home. Is it really worth it to go new construction versus, hate the word used house, right? It's new to you, versus a classical sale for a house. You're going to see, the data came out, we can link to it somewhere. It's about $36,000 more that you're going to pay than you would have this time last year for that new construction because of cost of materials. I didn't have a number for it last week, but cost of materials is up about $36,000. That's also a lot more than I expected. Like I said, we envy the people with the pallets of wood driving down the street instead of the fancy cars. But you're also going to see some of that money come out of just the ability to raise the price. There's a classic conversation about why do costs rise in different ways. So, the printing process for a book, that may have gone up $2. So why is the price of the book $15 more expensive? This is a terrible example, but I'll go through the entire thing. The cost of everything has gone up. Printing, cost of living for salaries, shipping everything from one location to another. And in the terms of home building, what you're seeing is, of course, all your subcontractors need to work. There's just not enough subcontractors, especially, say, in this area, to go around. There's not enough materials, not enough subcontractors, not enough land. Everything's in the way. So costs, of course, are going to rise up. That's what they do. It's fascinating. But we are in a place right now where value is going up. So this isn't just seeing prices raised without the value going up. As long as we can keep this relative momentum or even plateau it, everything will be fine. I do not foresee, again, anything collapsing this. Some can say it's a bubble, but a bubble only happens if we can't balance this out. And it's not technically a bubble because it is, of course, a supply and demand issue instead of a lending issue or any of the other problems that have plagued us in the past. This is definitely a simple balance issue. Supply and demand is different now than it was in 2006, 2007. Supply has dwindled because of what happened back then. This is still an era where we're seeing the repercussions of what happened with lending practices from both private lenders, public lenders, builders. We lost 200,000 builders, not just people, building companies that were building these houses, 200,000 of them after the 2006, 2007. And we've never gained that back. So we just don't have the inventory. So, of course, like me, I'm calling everyone I know and a great deal of people I don't know to try and see what they're interested in. If they want to take advantage of this market to upgrade, downsize. See, you say upgrade makes it sound great, downsize still makes it sound good. Use upgrade, never say downgrade, unless you're, just don't do it. Downsize, find something a little bit smaller because you don't need the space, or upgrade. The common complaint is, of course, where am I finding something? Well, that's why we're all doing what we're doing. This will definitely balance out. We're not going to see this housing shortage. I don't like the term housing shortage because there is enough housing for everyone, theoretically, right now. I think we're more at an economic point where the economy doesn't know what it's going to do for a number of reasons, and that's affecting everything. Some people just want to leave the areas that they've been in for political reasons, for monetary reasons. Things are getting too expensive. Oil reasons, gas reasons, pricing reasons. Price of groceries is still holding pretty standard across the board, so that's not too much of an issue, so that's good. But I'm rambling. Again, we've got a pretty fantastic market here, but I think it's got some stigma to it. I think because of where we are in Southeast Idaho, we have a fantastic market. It's also just plainly a fantastic place to live. And you've got people who want to leave other states to come here. Like I say, I don't see the data backing that up. I don't think we're seeing that blue wave that people are fearing. I think we're seeing people who are taking advantage of the market, getting out of rental situations to buy something. With conventional loans and rates as low as they are, they're still at 2.25 for the FHA and VA loans, but why put the conventional? Because you can afford it. It's still at 2.8 as of Monday morning. I haven't checked again. Money is pretty free, so I say take it. And again, I'm going to stop rambling so you can all go out and be by the phone to call me, or I'll call you, and we'll see exactly what we can get you in a new home, because we're still selling properties, stuff still coming on the market. We got 49 active residential properties right now in Bonneville County. Next week, I'll see if we can look at some bigger data, maybe look at all of Idaho, add some more counties to Southeast Idaho, see what's going on. Phone is ringing off the hook. See, there are messages, not just crazy. Phones are ringing. We got people interested. People are coming all over within Idaho, without Idaho. So next week we'll look at a little broader picture, perhaps, add in some other counties and see what we can look at. But the market's on fire. We're going to do this. We're going to have a great time. I'll see you next week. Boy.